Peace, y'all. It's your man Dave with my brother Quest, the man bringing you all things marriage, paying you huge dividends on your investment in time with us. We're talking about love, sex, having children, money, spirituality, life, communication, and anything else to help you thrive and win in your relationships. And guess what? This is grown folks' business. So get ready to make grown-up decisions. You know why? Because marriage ain't for suckers. That's the name of the program. Marriage ain't for suckers. All right, let's get into it. Hey, yo, Quest, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today?
Yup. I love that intro. Let me tell you something. I hope that my love for that intro never dies.
Hey.
I love that intro. Yep. As always, y'all, what up? Welcome to another edition, another episode, another program. You know what I'm saying? Marriage ain't for suckers, as my man D would like to say, program. You know what I'm saying? I am your host with the most, Quest, alongside my man, my man, L. David Harris.
You know, I wasn't ready. I didn't. I could have hit the little button with the applause.
Come on.
I'm falling asleep at the wheel, Quest.
Oh, it's all good. There's some days where we're a little bit more tired than others.
Yeah,
you know
man.
Yeah, but we constantly on the grind getting done what we need to get done.
Yes,
Shouts
sir.
out to everybody listening in, man. How you doing today, bro?
I'm holding on, man. I'm encouraged. You know, I'm discouraged in some ways and encouraged because I know that the Lord got my everywhere. I almost said back, but he's got my everywhere.
He's got my everywhere.
Yeah, Quest. He's got my everywhere. So I'm happy about that. I'm just a little, I got a couple things on my mind, a lot going on at the same time, but we're good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So yeah, man, I'm with you in the same respect. I want to just like for real, thank God and for specifically for accountability, man.
Okay, yeah.
One of the things for real, for brothers that I get on with every morning and for brothers like you know what I'm saying, who respect me, who love me, but not impressed by me, who will, you know what I'm saying, give me the chin check when it's needed.
Yes.
And so this week, I've just been there's certain things that I want to do or trying to get done. Like, especially the stuff when we're preparing for the podcast and all of that stuff, videos that we're shooting for the week in terms of content. And when the boys are home with me, I promise you, they're just like I don't even know what to call them dudes. They're just like lawless.
Two little boys.
Exactly.
Call it that.
Two little boys.
Yeah.
But you know what's so funny? I always used to say, I want to have them home.
Yeah.
So I could keep an eye on them and so I could be present. And it's funny how when that actually happens, your focus changes and you're more concentrated on the work than you are on them. And I just had them remind me this morning, like, yo, that sounds like a video to me.
Oh, yeah, no question.
You know what I'm saying? That sounds like a project for me. That sounds like a nugget, like to me.
Yes.
And so I quickly straightened up and started shifting my attitude and turning it into gratitude, if you will.
Yes, sir. And they develop anyway. These children that God gave for us as a heritage and inheritance.
Oh yeah.
They develop through obviously through various stages, and some of them feel less desirable to us than others because, because I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, just leave it there.
But they're always wonderful lights at different junctures. So. Yeah. Times where you enjoy the flow more than others, So,
no doubt.
Yeah, God is good, man. He knows what he's doing.
You already know.
Dudes like us, children, are you serious? Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
So, yeah, man. Shouts out to everybody listening in today.
Yeah, man. We got some new folks, man. I won't call last names since we're live on audio and everything, but Paul is in, man. I haven't seen Paul and Auntie Denise. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
We have the regular suspects, usual suspects, not because you're just average, but because you're consistent. You keep us held up. So thank you for that. But we have some new people that I'm happy to see pulling in with us.
Well, welcome. Let me say welcome. Welcome.
Word. All right. Let's get this party started, Quest.
Yeah, man. Shouts out as always to Breathe University. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I love that part right there. Yep.
I took Quest out his game. I shouldn't have done that.
No doubt, man. For real, if you're trying to go to the next level, you're trying to be a better entrepreneur, trying to be a better person, trying to be better in business, trying to be a better husband, trying to be better in marriage, then this is definitely a family of learners and learning. And if you want to be a part of that family, for more information, go to www.breatheuniversity.com. Yep. One more last conference that we're having this year. Stay Ready Conference, of course. None other than the dynamic speakers of Jeremy Anderson, Inky Johnson, and David Shands, followed up by the man himself, Dr. Eric Thomas. If you want tickets and you want to be in the building, November 12th is the date. L.A. West Side is the city. And go to etinspires.com/events and get your tickets right now.
Okay. Well, for those of you just listening in and not seeing, I think Quest had his teeth clenched. Like, he was really emphasizing that. Like, get it now.
Right now.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this last piece of business, this last bit of business, my friend. You know what it is, right? Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audio book download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/marriage. But you already knew it was going to be marriage. What else would it be?
What else would it be?
With more than 180,000 titles from which to choose for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And guess what, Quest? I got a book for you. Not for you, though. This one wouldn't apply to you. So I'll just put that in there. It cannot apply to you, Quest.
It's for our peoples, though, our listeners, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool, you ready for it? Cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
Every Young Woman's Battle.
Okay.
Guarding your mind, your heart, and body in a sex-saturated world.
Ooh, hey, that book might be for me for real.
Listen, man, I'll say it again. Every Young Woman's Battle, guarding your mind, heart, and body in a sex-saturated world. And you've seen in the news lately, and it's not new news, but it's in the news heavy right this moment, where, you know, a lot of people are losing their minds sexually and forcing themselves on women. And you know, it even hit the UK recently in the highest levels of government. So we're you know, this is something that we need to be on top of.
Not only forcing themselves on people, David, losing everything that they have worked for and built up to this point. Your boy Weinstein lost his entire company the other day. You feel me?
Yeah. So we have to respect the women, respect their who they are, the value that God has placed on them, and not only women, but that's what we're talking about at this moment. And just to kind of make a contribution. And this is written by Shannon Etheridge and Steve Arterburn. You know, I get down with the New Life Live people. So
no doubt.
That's where it is. And so let's get moving, brother. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about today disorder in the court. Yep. Getting your mind right in marriage. I'm going to say it one more time. Disorder in the court. Getting your mind right in marriage. Yeah. D, I'm going to let you lead out on this one, Brett fan.
Listen, man, I'm just gonna get us started because you and I were talking as usual, you know, building on a Tuesday. So now y'all know our flow. We talk other times too, but we were having a meeting, just trying to kind of, you know, get our vibe together. And what are we going to share with the world? And after we basically solved all the problems of the world in whatever period of time we were on, you said something like, I don't remember what you said, but I remember the term. You used character disorders.
Yeah.
In a sentence, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I really need to push pause and hold my head and say, character disorders? Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Because we talk about eating disorders. We talk about all kinds of other disorders, bro. But character disorders?
Well, let's do this real quick, D. You're a psych dude. So you understand, just break down what an eating disorder is for me.
I'm gonna go real layman. We are created, and pardon me to the psych people, but we're created to eat enough to live. And we have glands, we have all kind of stuff in our bodies. And pardon, I use the word stuff, but like the hypothalamus tells us when we've had enough. And our satiety center, if you want to say, is like, all right, Quest, quit eating right now.
Yeah.
But what happens is, for whatever reasons, sometimes people have mental health issues where they have problems with body image. And I'll just start with the body image. There are a lot of people, especially women, with body image issues. And what it does is kind of causes them to perceive something negative about how they appear. And sometimes it causes them to do very destructive things with food, whether to eat enough or not to eat enough, whether to eat and then throw it up. There are other issues that have nothing to do with it, like parasomnia. Like parasomniacs eat almost anything, like just find something, put it in their face. A lot of times they're asleep when it happens. It could be a handful of flour. Yeah. And so, it's disorderly because it's not according to the way that God created our minds. And it's not sort of a healthy response in this case to eating or ingesting whatever we're talking about. So, it's an oversimplification, but that's just sort of a light example of a disorder or two.
So in other words, we can take that same principle and apply it to character. There are times when we are doing things that we should not be doing. You ever heard somebody say, "Oh, you're doing too much"? Or
you're doing too much. Yeah.
Young people say, "Oh, you're doing the most."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, when you do things to be validated,
Oh boy.
When you act to get you're an attention monger, if you will. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like all of those different things. And sometimes in marriage, what I've seen as of late, and it's crazy, bro. One situation I saw where a gentleman has entrepreneurial endeavors, and he's been doing what he's been doing for a number of years. And the wife has basically been holding him down. Right. And now all of a sudden because he's making a sizable amount of money, he done forgot what his wife was doing for him over the years. Oh, boy. And now he acting brand new. I mean, like, it's my car, my house,
mine.
Yep. Oh, and now my man is he's has the breadwinner, mentality. And, my whole idea, sentiment towards him was like, that's cool. You could be the breadwinner, but if you keep moving in the direction that you're moving, you're going to be the bread giver. Because remember,
wait, pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
Bread giver.
Yeah, no doubt. You're going to be the bread giver.
Oh no.
Because it's a situation where the wife is getting highly irritated and upset because he's doing certain things that are for real, are out of character for inside the home, in front of the children, all kinds of stuff. And she's trying to shield them from that. And D, as I always said before, I am not an advocate for divorce, but I do believe people have a breaking point. And I also believe that once you get to a position where there's no resolve, and now this situation becomes a distraction to the point where you are not on purpose as to what God brought you into this world to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but you need to establish an expiration date if there's no. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways to put boundaries in place to where sometimes it's necessary to physically separate. I'm not going to get into the divorce piece because we don't have that kind of time.
No, we don't.
But there are times when there's enough destructive behavior, like physical, sexual, emotional abuse, as an example, where there's a need for separation physically for the safety of the part of the family that's being abused, as an example. But yeah, we can't even get into the details of that. But listen, I looked up when you said the term character disorder. I looked it up because I was like, what is that? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And this is from dictionary.com. And of course, that's not per se the best resource for this kind of thing. Right. But character disorder in medicine, any of a group of personality disorders characterized by a persistent pattern. That's actually redundant, of maladaptive behavior, emotional instability, immaturity, compulsive gambling, as an example, sexual deviation, or alcohol or drug addiction.
Oh, come on.
So, okay, I'm starting to get it a little bit, I'm saying that proverbially, but yeah. And there was one more I saw at Counseling Source. This was interesting. Yeah. Like they underscore the concept of a disorder being a disturbance.
Okay.
So let me just stop there. I won't go into their thing, but just imagine you're having what you hope to be a healthy relationship with your spouse, and your home life is going hopefully the way that you would have it go. But then there's a disturbance or a disruption. But the disruption or disturbance is based in what you call all the time, Quest, core value stuff.
Yep. Come on.
Right. And those core value principles are based on our character, like in the sort of moral sense in this case. Mm-hmm. And so it would be immoral for me, if I'm talking about me, David Harris, to esteem riches more than my marriage. Mm-hmm. And the way I manifest in this disturbance is gambling. Mm-hmm. Every time I get a little money, then I gamble it away because I'm trying to make a better life. And I'm expecting that my wife is going to go with that. Like, well, at least he's trying. But now I'm having a situation where I'm addicted. Now I'm having a situation where I'm telling her we ain't got no money, but she saw the money come in a second ago. So what'd you do with it? Slots again. Cha-ching. We going to be rich, baby.
Wow.
And so I'm just picking that one. But so clearly God would have us be good stewards. And,
no doubt.
And it's his stuff. So how can I fritter away his stuff in a game of chance with no reasonable expectation of return?
Yeah.
And now we have a disturbance, Quest.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
Yeah. That's one. You said disrupting. I believe that in the house or in the home, there should exist a certain harmony.
Harmony, yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah.
There should exist a certain harmony. And when you have a character disorder, it disrupts not only the relationship, but the harmony of the entire household. Mm-hmm. You also spoke about being a good steward. Mm-hmm. Well,
manager.
Not only a steward of money, but steward of relationships, particularly within the home.
Yes.
Why? Because the word declares that children are a heritage of the Lord.
Yes.
So therefore, he's putting children, if you have them in your marriage, in your care. A man who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yes.
And favor from the Lord. So here's the truth. It's a lot of people that want to be married and want to be in relationship. This is some of the stuff that you and I are currently working on now.
Definitely.
And to have it.
Yes.
And mistreat it because you have character disorders. D. See, I'm trying to calm myself down because I'm getting fired up.
Here's one of the problems with any disorder. And again, we're not trying to be clinical here. We're using this as a jump off. So for those of you who are clinicians, don't be upset because we're not applying the thing perfectly. Yeah. But I think the people are getting it now. Yep. The problem isn't the biggest problem isn't always the disturbance or the disorder. And stay with me here. Yeah. The problem usually is that people who are either causing it or if they feel like they're a victim of their own disturbance or disorder and it's getting all over their families, is that they won't get it looked at, not get help, not get it addressed.
Okay.
To limit and then hopefully in the future nullify its negative impact on the family union. And so, got it. There are times that people, because we're people, are eased in our lifestyle, and it happens on varying levels with all of us. But sometimes it gets to such a level that we need help, and for those who refuse to get help, are saying, you know what? Well, whatever. You know, I know it's my family and y'all, you know, whatever. That's a bigger problem.
Yo, this is it. This is it, D. And we've said it so many times before. The reason why we continue to experience what you were just talking about and not go for help is because we lack an ability to self-assess, to fix our thinking, and to bridge the gap. So in other words, the only way it brings new meaning when you read the love chapter and it says, then we see, what does it say there?
Now we see through a glass,
darkly.
But then
face to face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where you can see yourself in the mirror, but as soon as you walk away, you forgot what you look like. And I'm saying that we constantly need to put ourselves in this position where we're constantly self-assessing. Why? Because I don't want to get super spiritual on people, but like the real is the real. We born in sin and shaping in iniquity. Who knows the darkness of a man's heart?
Yeah.
So you got to constantly be in this position, especially while you're in this thing called marriage, where you're constantly checking yourself. You're constantly fixing your thinking. And while you're doing the two, you're constantly making adjustments right behind it.
And again, my Polonius keeps coming up in my mind every time we speak it. Almost to thine own self be true, and then in the poetic way, it continues something like, if you're honest with yourself, then you can't lie to anybody else.
Oh, come on.
So I think my self-perception in this context is key, because if I esteem myself higher than I ought, if I esteem myself above you. In marriage, if I don't, I'm not business with you, or don't think about you and just think about me. So now I'm casting you aside. I'm marginalizing my home life. And now it's I again. If that is my self perception, then I don't have any space for my family. There's no space.
Man.
If I'm narcissistic, if I'm self-serving, selfish, there is no space for growth in family. Because first of all, I can't be vulnerable. Second of all, I'm lying because the world really doesn't revolve around me.
Oh, come on.
And so now I'd literally have no space for anybody else or anything else, because my ego, even if it's in reverse, let me drop this on them real quick, Quest. Even if my ego is flipped upside down, most people know ego like this, puffed up chest, like but there's an ego that puts my problems above everybody else too. I am so terrible. My problems it's always poor me. Well, what about the others in your family who need some support or need help? It's always my life is such a train wreck. And that's another way of ego sort of encroaching upon peace in your family, man. That's a disturbance.
Yeah. You need to stay out of people personal affairs, man.
It is what it is.
Stay out of people personal business, David. By the way, I love that ego. It's an acronym, edging God out.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Edging God out.
So
that's
real
true.
quick,
it's accurate.
How much time we got? Because I want you to run something down for me.
We got six and some seconds.
All right. So check this out. What do we say to the average person who's in marriage right now? Who does not, or who is not self-assessing, who is not looking at the situation and the role that they play in it? What would you say to that person? Because truth be told, if they don't, I can think of it's crazy to me. It's really crazy. I can think about 3 marriages right now that are going through this very thing that we're talking about, where there are character disorders, character flaws, whatever you want to call them. And if they don't get that taken care of, I promise you. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
You there?
So pardon us to those of you who are live. Something went terribly wrong. And let me just make sure that all of the everything is still a go. And even in the audio setting, I apologize, but I have no idea what Quest just said, but I know you asked me.
No. I'll reiterate it real quick.
So say that again.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, for the person who's not self-assessing,
yes,
because like I was telling you before, I know about 3 marriages right now.
Yeah,
that if they don't self-assess, fix their thinking, and make some necessary adjustments, they're going to end up down there in that court that we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you say to those people who have that inability to self-assess?
Well, here's a word to the wise. By the wise man, Solomon himself, he said, pride goes before destruction.
Oh, come on.
A haughty spirit before a fall. So sometimes hearing that it's coming, even if you don't agree with it, you don't believe it, for somebody to be able to sort of pull you up and say, listen, man, I know you think everything is going just fine, but it is not. This is where this is going. And pride is your enemy. Pride is your enemy. Self is your enemy. And so hopefully that could be jarring enough. And, I know I'm expecting a lot, but how much do you have at stake in your mind? What is at stake? Do you mind that your wife is no longer happy? Do you mind that you have destroyed her spiritually? Do you mind that your children are confused? Now they're trying to figure out which parent to side with when they shouldn't have to make a decision like that? Like, does that matter to you?
Stay out of people's personal business.
So that, pride goes before. It's no joke, man. And it makes a person unreachable. Pride makes any one of us unreachable because we don't think we have a problem. And therefore we don't need a solution.
And if you prideful, then that means you got a maturity issue too.
Oh, no
and
question.
Maturity is not something that necessarily comes with age. D, we've discussed this before. Or because I've seen many a 60-year-old man act like they're 20, and a 20-year-old that is responsible beyond their years.
Yeah.
So in other words, that maturity that you're missing is a responsibility, responsible for your thoughts and your actions, responsible for the way you think. The word says that whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. So wherever your mind goes, your energy flows. So in other words, whatever you thinking, it's going to come to action. You feel me? So all of those things, responsible for the way you carry yourself, responsible for how other people see you. Now, we can't be responsible for their perceptions, but you can be responsible for what they see.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah.
It's interesting. A pastor that I respect who has, if you want to say, I don't want to say reinvented himself, but he's always in transition in a good way. So at the time, so his name is Pastor Ronnie Vanderhorst.
Oh, shots out.
Yeah. And Pastor Ronnie Vanderhorst at the time was Kwame Ronnie Vanderhorst, Sabbath child, and he's now the seed planter. But I remember him saying 20 some years ago, you are not what you think you are, but what you think, pause.
Yep.
You are.
Yep.
Did you get that?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You are not what you think you are, perception, but what you think, the reality of what is going on in your mind.
That's right.
Is what you are.
Yep.
And that's what the text said that you just said. But I like the way that he couched that because, boy, what's going on in my brain, Quest? When nobody's watching and nobody can hear it, nobody can see it.
Yeah.
Or at least not yet, because it does leak out.
Oh, come on.
So whatever that is, that's who I am, not what I say I am. I can say what I want to say. It's just a matter of time before it leaks out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where it is, bro. And so we got to say something real slick and for the next minute, because of course Isaiah wanted that minute back, so we're gonna give him that minute back. But we're out of time, bro. So
all right. Well, let me tell. Well, I want to say them this. Tell them this. From shaky to good.
Yes.
From good to great.
I
don't care where you are in the spectrum. Ultimately, we want our marriages to be at phenomenal.
Yeah.
But phenomenal don't just happen.
No, it doesn't just happen.
It takes self-assessment. It takes fix your thinking.
Yes.
And it takes making adjustments, not to mention it takes work. So let's do that. Work. Stay focused.
And it's good work. I'll let y'all know.
There you have it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Marriage is about mutual love and mutual respect. And it works for those willing to make it work. Real talk, Our spouses are treasured jewels given to us to make life better. And the sooner we learn to value one another will be the sooner we become the absolute best versions of ourselves we can be. Until next time, peace.